All eyes are on Wisconsin tonight with less than 2 hours left for voters to head to the polls to elect a new state Supreme Court justice. The race between liberal candidate Susan Crawford and conservative candidate Brad Schimel is already the most expensive judicial race in American history and will determine ideological control of the court. Danny Spiewak joins us now with more on what's at stake. Danny?
Well, Lauren, this race has commanded the nation's attention and is widely seen as an early test of how voters in a swing state like Wisconsin feel about President Trump so far. But the outcome will also have a very real impact on voters in Wisconsin, including those of you in our coverage area in western Wisconsin. From Hudson to Madison, voters across Wisconsin understood the stakes on Tuesday.
We're the purplest of the purple states.
The state Supreme Court race between liberal candidate Susan Crawford and conservative candidate Brad Schimel may offer a glimpse into how voters feel about President Trump and Elon Musk, whose groups have spent millions supporting Schimel.
Outcome will influence what happens, a lot, in the country.
Whether the court remains liberal or flips conservative also has major consequences for the state's most pressing legal questions.
Biggest issues we're going to see are abortion, redistricting, and union rights.
Brenna Gadar is a staff attorney with the University of Wisconsin Law School's State Democracy Research Initiative.
So a couple of those are cases that are actually already pending before the Wisconsin Supreme Court or pending in lower courts and likely to come up.
There are multiple abortion rights cases before the state Supreme Court right now, although the main one asking whether a 19th century ban is constitutional is likely to be settled before the next justice starts in August.
But I think it's very possible that we would see additional challenges under the Wisconsin Constitution to other Wisconsin abortion laws.
Meanwhile, the winner of the Schimel-Crawford race likely will rule on a case currently in the Court of Appeals that challenges Act 10, the Wisconsin law that limited collective bargaining and drew massive union protests in 2011. Although there aren't any pending cases on electoral maps, the Wisconsin Supreme Court has been involved in that for years. And after redistricting, Republicans now hold 6 of 8 congressional seats.
There have been questions raised on both sides of whether, if the court maintains a liberal-leaning direction, another challenge would be brought to those congressional maps.
The next justice could also play a pivotal role in future election law cases, such as that one in 2020 when President Trump challenged his loss in Wisconsin to former President Biden. The Wisconsin Supreme Court, which leaned conservative at the time, rejected that bid and let the results stand. So it's obviously a very important election for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, polls close at 8, but they're not known in Wisconsin for counting those results quickly. So if it's close, we might not know tonight.
Yeah, it might be tomorrow, and maybe it'll be too close to call. We just don't know at this point.
All right. Thank you, Danny.